Happy Wednesday! Thanks for joining me for a craft night with friends. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's a time that we can relax and craft together. So we are continuing the elephant. We did the little tufted tail. We did some turkey work on the tail, and we changed the flower into a little sunflower last night. And now we're going to just do all the rest of the details, and I'm hoping we can get going on the letters, the satin stitch of the letters as well. And I think I have a plan for that. So, all right, you guys, thanks again for joining. Let's get embroidering. Okay, here we go tonight. I'm going to scoot you all on down. All right, so to review, last night we did the turkey work stitch to make these like this little tufted tail. That was really fun. That's not what the original design had. That used just satin stitch, but this was a suggestion from a viewer, and I thought it was just so fun. So that was what we did yesterday, and then we also stitched the little flower, and we did that as a kind of a sunflower. Basically, it kind of goes with our sunflower embroidery of the month one, so it's all sunflowers now. But I think that turned out super cute. So instead of satin stitching in the design, satin stitching the petals, we just did a bunch of lazy daisy stitches instead there. All right, so tonight we're just going to do all these other little details. I think I'm going to start with the ear here. We have a running stitch going on the ear, and then I think that purple, it's the same purple as this, we're going to use that for the little nose wrinkles as well. So we'll get that done first. Let's use our light purple again. Oh, I was going to get little bobbins to wind all this on. I might have to find those yet. All right, let's cut our 24 inches or so and separate it into our 3 strands. All right, that's 1. We're just isolating 1 strand at a time and pulling it on out, and the thread will just relax after it comes out. And 3. This is a great way to get different number of strands out of your 6-strand embroidery floss. I know if you have 3 on either side, you can just kind of pull them apart, but I think this is a faster way with less potential for it all twisting up on each other. I used to think it was kind of like, I got to pull all 3 strands out. That seems like a waste of time, but I do really kind of like it. All right, so I'm just putting it back together, then run my hand through, and we're good to go. Oh, Amy says, I watched the replay last night. That turkey work is so stinking cute. I really do think it turned out fun. We should do it more often is what I think, just to get that little floof on the tail. That worked out so well. It does really look like not needle felting, punch needle. It really does look a lot like that, except for a punch needle you can't really do on this fabric very well, I don't think. All right, I'm going to weave into the backs of the ear stitches here, and then we will start that running stitch. Zoop. So I hope everyone had a lovely day. It got coldy again here. I got my big old sweater on again. It was chilly today. All right, so you can do the stabbing method or the sewing method for this. So the stabbing method is where I go straight down on the line, and then I come back up where the next stitch starts, where the next little drawn line starts, and then I go back down straight and back up. So that's the stabbing method. The other method you could use, which is generally used for the running stitch, which is that dashed line. It's used for that a lot, is the sewing method. And I always like the fabric a little looser in the hoop for that, so I'm just going to kind of press on it to loosen that fabric. And I always like working right to left, so that's why I'm rotating here a little bit. But the sewing method is where you go in and out in the same motion. So in and out, like so. So I'm going in at the end of the stitch, and then I'm coming out where the next stitch starts. And it's easier if the fabric's looser. And the nice thing about the running stitch is you can actually do that a bunch of times as long as you're kind of like on a straightaway here. So I can do a few of these at once. So in and out, and then I'm just kind of rocking the needle back and forth. Again, much easier with the fabric looser in the hoop. And there you go. I got a couple stitches there, and I can just pull all of those through at once. So I did like 3 stitches in the same motion there. Hey, Chris. So we can do that again. So again, this is the sewing method. It works fabulous for certain stitches, and running stitch is definitely one of them. You can scream through the stitches really quickly. Ooh, this might be one too many on here, but we still got it here. Definitely loosen the fabric in the hoop, though. That works so much better. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Christy and Kathy. Caitlin says, "Oh, order the dip powder. Oh, cool. After you did yours the other night. Mine aren't perfect, but took less than 45 minutes. Okay, start to finish. Okay, that's way freaking better than mine. It took me 2 hours and didn't have to wait hours before I started my crochet project. That's the key, right? Like, you were able to just start your craft project right away. That's what I'm excited about the most. And like literally I've had these nails, I mean, we did them last Monday, so it's been a week and a half, and they're totally acceptably fine still, and more than fine. And I would have never, ever gotten this far with just my normal like lacquer nail polish. So it's a big honkin' win for sure. I think the only thing that's going to make me have to do them, like, early next week is that they're just going to grow out too far, and so you'll be able to just tell that they're too grown out. But yeah, you can just, it's kind of magic. You could just start whatever project you're working on right away, and it doesn't affect them. It's kind of crazy. So I am very much excited about it. And I'm glad to hear that yours just took 45 minutes. Because it took me so much longer. But I think, the next time it'll go way, way, way faster, I'm thinking. I'll have to time it next time. And I did look up that way of getting the nail polish off. Oh, you love gel polish? So I did, this is dip polish. So that dip, like where you dip it in the powder. Dip powder. Powder dip? No, dip powder polish. Dip powder. Jeez. It's dip powder. I think it's like acrylic, more like acrylic than gel. All right, there we go. I'm going to tighten this back up now in the hoop. So I did, some people mentioned this is my first time ever doing the powder as well. I've only ever done lacquer before, just like your typical like old school lacquer. And it comes off 2 days later. Oh, a peel-off base coat. Ooh, I'll have to look into that. I am Sam. Ooh, I had glitter polish. Oh, glitter polish on the grown-out area. Oh, just like normal glitter polish, like just lacquer. Oh, I didn't think about that I could just put a lacquer in there to just like extend it a little bit longer. I'll have to think about that for the future. But yeah, I did, some people mentioned during my first live or like my live when I did the polish for the first time, that's what I meant to say, that there was a way to get it off quickly, because I guess getting the nail polish off is like a big pain. So a few people mentioned the trick, and I YouTubed it today, the trick where you basically get a little like plastic sandwich bag, and you pour some acetone in there, and then and you can actually pour like some jojoba oil in there too, just to like add just so it doesn't dry your nails out too much. And then you put like your hands around a paper towel, like you fold a paper towel and put it between your nails, and then put it into acetone, and then put the plastic bag with the acetone into a hot, like, that hot water, basically a bowl of hot water, but where your hands can actually tolerate the heat, not like boiling water or anything. And then then you just like rub your fingers together in the paper towel, and it comes off in like a few minutes, like 5 minutes or so. And apparently, like, some people have to have just like the pure acetone on and like for like 40 minutes or something. So that's a huge improvement. So I may try that technique. Oh, but Sam is saying using that. What did you call it there? I gotta look it up again. A peel off base coat for the dip. I'm definitely gonna have to look that up. So obviously I didn't use that for this time. So I'll use that trick with the hot water and the acetone bag and see how that goes. And then, yeah, I'd be totally interested in like a peel off thing. Oh, Carrie says I use Color Street and use a large hole punch. Oh, to make a backwards French to cover the growth. A large hole punch. Oh, so like is Color Street like one of those like stick-on sort of nail things? So is that what you're using the hole punch for? I may not know what I'm talking about at all. But I get your idea of like a backwards like a large hole punch. So you just kind of like put that down as a mat or like a mask. So you're like revealing that hole. I think I get what you're saying. I think I understand. So that would totally work too. Yeah, so and I when I was Googling, I don't know, I think I just went on, not Googling, I went on YouTube, and then, it was feeding me all the nail stuff since I had to look it up how to do the powder. But I'm like, God, there's got to be a way to just fill the ends easily, or the like cuticle area easily, and it did not look easy. It looked like you might as well freaking start fresh. Like, it didn't look like you still had to file a ton, and it looked like it just took as much time. So I'm like, well, that's dumb. So we'll probably just do it fresh each time. But I do like the idea of just some lacquer, or some glitter lacquer, or like that reverse French nail. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Oh, you're doing, Caitlin's in the halo lacquer. Oh, but love having the dip. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. And I bet you can still add your special effects polishes on top. I would love to see. So, like, I'm just sort of sticking to the plain colors for now, but I do like the idea of, like, you can easily, it seems, do, like, a little ombre effect to it with a couple colors. I just think this color with that lavender that I got would be so freaking pretty together. That'd be fun. Oh, Caitlin says peel off base is great, but just got to be careful with washing hands. That causes it to come off faster. Okay, interesting. So that's kind of what I'm testing with this first time through. I'm being like super aggressive with my hands. I'm doing all the things that would normally just make the polish just break off and come off like with the normal lacquer, like doing tons of food prep and hot showers and hands in water all the time and folding boxes, like all these things that usually just take my nail polish off immediately. And they still are, like, I would say 98% just perfect still, which is so significantly different than ever before. So I'm very, very happy with how aggressive I can be with them so far, compared to what I had to before. So I'm hoping soon I won't even ever have to think about them. I'll just like put them on, and 2 weeks later I will just take them off and redo them. Like, it'll be like an every 2 week event or something. All right, let's do the eyes. Let's get that done. So I think I have some black. Yeah, we got some split black already. Great. So I think I'm going to do this in that way where I just leave a little bit of thread out, and I'm going to use that to be my last stitch, and I'll weave it in. Just because I want to like weave in the ends within this realm of the eye. I don't want to like jump. I don't want to jump across the face to do the next eye. So we're going to do that way where we just leave a little end out that we can make a last stitch and weave in later. My gosh, Justin says acetone is flammable, so take care with heat. Nail polish bottles exploded in my bathroom nail rack. Oh my god, when cleaning company installed, high-powered fans that generated heat. Oh my gosh, that's crazy! Ugh! When they say keep away from heat, they mean it. Oh, that is good to know. Yikes, that is super duper duper scary. I hope you're okay with all that. Dang, that would be so scary. Alright, so I'm going to just leave this little end out, like so. It's going to look crazy right now, but I'm going to use that to make my last stitch, and then we'll weave in that end as well. I might need it a little longer. Actually, that's probably fine. So this is instead of tying a knot on the back, and instead of weaving in the ends to stitches that are already there, because I don't want to jump across to get to the eye. But yeah, so I'm very happy. Like, I don't feel like these are coming off at all. I mean, it is definitely growing out a bit, but even that's not like so horribly noticeable. Like, I can get away with it, I think, still. But it does feel like, you know, there's an edge to it around, but it's not like an edge that's moving. Like, I can't get anything underneath there, like a nail or anything. So I'm really, really happy so far with it, but like I haven't taken it off yet, so that might change matters, but really not. Even if it's horrible to get off, if I still only have to do it every 2 weeks instead of every 2 days, it's a freaking win. So I'm excited to be expanding my world of nail polish. I know, enough with the nails. I know, I've been so on it with the nails lately. All right, let's weave in this end, and then I will, actually, you know what? I might just leave that end for now since I have thread on this needle still, and I might just start the second eye right away. So I wove it in 3 times. Let's trim it, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So don't worry about the crazy little line there. I am going to do the same thing over there, and then I'll weave in both ends. So it's gonna be like a sad or like a weird giant eyelash elephant for a few minutes here. But this is just like a fun, fast way to keep stitching for a little while. Like I got my thread on the needle. I don't want to spend time taking it off and dinking around. I can just start the next bit. I like doing this little hexagon to get a nice kind of circular feeling eye. Oh, nice, Amy. That's awesome. Yeah, so it's a huge improvement for sure. All right, so one more stitch, and we'll weave in, and then get that last. We'll do a stitch with this, and then weave in that end as well. So we don't have those big jumps in the back, and I kind of like that. So I think we got basically everything on top here. We do have the little toenails to go yet, so I think that's really it for the elephant details, and then we'll be onto the letter E. So JW on TikTok last night thought it might be fun to do like an all diagonal, like just a diagonal satin stitch across this whole thing, and I thought, well, we haven't done that yet, so that could be kind of fun. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Oh, we have to do the little tongue yet too. I'm not sure we'll get that far tonight because we got like all of these nails, and those are all satin stitched as well, so those might take a little bit of time. We'll see. I think they'll only take like 3 stitches each, maybe just 2. All right, so I just thread that, and I'm going to just finish that. I left 1 stitch worth to get it to the back, There we go. And I'm going to just weave in that end too. So it's just kind of nice that I didn't have to, that I could just like leave both of these to the end and I didn't have to take the thread off the needle earlier. Alrighty. Trim that. It's looking very nice. I like his floofy tail. That turned out so sweet. All right, and then thread this one too. I think I'm going to do them again on Monday, and I think I'm going to do that lavender color that I got. That's kind of the same color as this tail floss. All right, there we are. One, two, three. I always go 3 times. Oop, come on, there we go. Okay, so let's get his little tongue. Let's see, going for the red, but I was gonna go with, if I found the pink first, I would use pink, but I found the red first. So I have a little bit here that's already split into the 3 strands, so I feel good. We're using scraps. And this we will do as a little satin stitch. And I'm going to trim this end because it's pretty fuzzy and they're not lined up. So there we are. Okay, so I think we'll just do a satin stitch kind of in the same direction like this, diagonal, like what the tongue is going at there. So let's weave in the end. 1, 2, 3. Hey Lydia, thanks for joining. Okay, some satin stitch. So I'm just gonna go like from this side here. I'm just gonna pick like the furthest most point that's close to the edge, and I'm gonna just go in that angled direction, and that's just gonna be my first kind of line that will determine the angle of all the rest of it. So now I'm just gonna follow the outer edge of the shape. And I think he just probably needs one more down here on the other side, and I think that'll be enough. Some itty bitty little satin stitched areas. So this is kind of how the toes will be too. Oh yeah, that's plenty. We don't need any more than that, I don't think. Weave that in. One, two. Oh, Caitlin says lavender would be pretty. Ooh, blues and greens. I love greens. I didn't get any greens this time. I just got I got 4 different colors, and I just got them pretty neutral, pretty basic. And I figured, if I like it, I'll get some more fun colors. Oh, your students would think something went wrong if you went with something neutral. That's awesome. That's cute. All right, let's do his little toes. So I think originally I had done them in yellow, like the same yellow as here, but if we have like a goldenrod color, I think that'd be cute. Yeah, we did them like this bright yellow, but I do kind of think like a little orange would be cute. Let's just see what we got. Oh, good. So we do have we have that goldenrod color already split a scrap, so this will be great. So I don't know, for some reason I feel like this should be like the only yellow, and then the toes can be this other color. We'll have to figure out what to do the letter E's with though yet. I haven't decided on that. Okay, floofy tail, so cute. Thank you, Nina. It's been since last Monday, so like 10 days or so. that they've lasted, which is crazy to me. I've never had nails last that long before. Okay, so we're just going to start on this side. One. And I'm just going to go till this thread is gone. I'll probably, instead of jumping from foot to foot, I'll probably come up the leg and go back down so I can kind of hide any big jumps. Okay. All right, so I think I'm gonna we'll start on the top edge and go down. Since we have these stitches here from the outline, it's gonna be difficult to come up there because we'll end up just keeping on piercing those stitches. So I'm gonna start at the top and just go down for all these. Oh, thanks so much, Nina. Yeah, it took 2 hours, but I think that'll go a zillion times faster the second time through, so I'm excited to do it again. Alright, so I did 3 little stitches. I think that's plenty. I'm just going to kind of just do 3, like a shorter stitch, and then a longer stitch for the middle, and another short stitch. I'll probably just do that for each of these, although this one looks like I can put 2 longer ones here. We'll just go left to right and fill it in. Not going to worry about the number of stitches. We'll just follow the shape. So I'm just going vertical satin stitch for this. Yeah, it's worth it for them to last this long, for freaking sure. Oh, that's a good idea. The E could be the same green. Caitlin says the E could be the same green as the flower to bring that out more. I forgot about that green, totally. That'd be really kind of pretty too, that big kind of emerald green. It's our fresh basil color. That would be pretty. I'm not sure I've used that green for any of these letters before, so that'll be new for me. I kind of like that. Nice, bold green E's. Okay, I like that. We're going to go with the green. And I think I'm going to try that all diagonal satin stitch. So what the satin stitch would look like if it appeared to be completely diagonal versus like following the shape, which is kind of what we've done with the other ones. And we can take a look at that closer once I get all these little toes done. And actually, you know, who knows, we might not make it that far beyond these toes tonight. Maybe we can draw in like my guidelines for diagonals in the satin stitch tonight. I'll probably actually draw them with a pencil or something first. But let's get through these toes. I'm getting ahead of myself again. That's cute though. I do like this little goldenrod color for the toes. All right, so like I said, instead of jumping from here to there, just because I don't want to see that, like if I shine it up to the light, you can see that line through there. I'm going to just travel. I'm going to travel through the backs of these stitches, and then it will just look like part of the back. There, let's get our way down here. There. I don't think that will show through at all. And now we can just keep going. More little toe stitches. These toes are bigger toes. Could have given him some nail polish, I suppose. Could have given him some pretty pink nail polish. I'm excited for these green E's. I think that'll be fun. I just realized that we could have done him like a pretty gray, and that would have been nice too. Oh, Holly's asking, how often do you go live doing this? Oh, I am live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. So every day, and sometimes I do like little like Saturday or Sunday marathons, where I just work on a project that I just want to get way farther along. So I'll do a couple hours for that, but I don't do that very often. Although I'm itching to do another one of those for that tulip punch needle that we were working on last week. But otherwise, I would do this. I'm on for an hour or so, so from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday, for sure. So those are my for sure times. All right, I'm going to travel just the same way up through the legs here to get to the next spot. I think I have enough thread for that. This might be enough thread to get us through the whole thing. We'll see. Oh, yes, please do. Love watching and doing embroidery. Oh, that's so fun. Oh, I'd love to see them, whatever embroidery you're working on and stuff. That's exciting. Yeah, it's just, this is like the best part of the day. I'm here every day in the evening, and it's just my hour to craft. And before I started doing these lives, I've been doing these lives like every day for like 6 years or so, something crazy. And I started as like a commitment to being consistent with something, and lives had just came out on like Facebook just for famous people, and then Periscope came out. If anyone remembers Periscope, I know some of you guys have been around since I was on Periscope. So I started lives on there, and then Facebook when I could get on there, and now I'm all over the place live at this time. Okay, one more. But it's the only time I was crafting, so I'm in like a craft industry. Like I am make these embroidery patterns and stuff, but I wasn't like doing any crafting at all for myself. So I'm like, you know what? As a practice and consistency, and just because I don't have time to make stuff anymore, that's going to be my new craft time. And now I've gotten so many zillions of projects done because I've just taken this hour every evening to move an hour further on projects. And so some projects, like a project, I'm going to redo that one just because I want it kind of stuck up in here. Like projects that I had like for a decade, that jean quilt, for example, just got done. So this consistency is like totally paying off, and I'm learning so much from hanging out with you guys and everything here. So we get to like pool knowledge, which is great for me. I'm very excited about that. Oh, Grace remembers Periscope, and Libby, yep. Oh my god, that's been forever. I might need another little strand of this goldenrod, but we'll see. When the back is so clean, like how do you travel to the next toenail? That's exactly what I do. I travel, I just weave in the backs of the stitches and then do the next couple, and then I weave in the backs again. That's getting pretty picky. The later at night it gets, the pickier and more like perfectionism-y I get, like stress perfectionism. So like other times I might have just jumped across, but that's a pretty big jump for me to typically do. I like to try and keep them hidden. I just think it's a nice practice, especially if you ever do like a tea towel or something where the back's going to be exposed. And I just find like just not having knots in general on the back, my thread doesn't catch on any, like I don't end up with like a big loop on the back that it got caught in a knot like 40 stitches ago, and just that act alone has cleaned up the backs quite a bit. So I'm happy about that. All right, I think we are going to be playing some thread chicken with these toenails, especially since I'm going to go up and down again, and we still got to fill in all those spaces. I'm feeling like I'm going to be just on the, like, I don't know, just a barely enough floss, I think. Oh, thanks, Nina. Oh, you're working on your dad's blanket. Oh, and have to embroider a few things on it. Oh, that sounds awesome, Holly. How nice. Embroidery just adds like such a sweet little handmade touch to things, I think. All right, last stitch for here for sure. So let's zoomy along the top edge here. Yeah, now other times maybe I would have just jumped over there, but we didn't do it for the other one, so let's not do it here either. Quick up and down. Alright, let's see if we have enough thread. And we'll totally have time to do some of this letter E tonight. So yeah, we'll have to, I think I'm just going to eyeball the diagonals, but theoretically we could use a ruler too. We'll see. Haven't quite thought through that completely yet. Oh, Holly's saying, oh, thank you. May I ask what project you're making this for? So this is going to be a quilt. We're actually going to donate the quilt. We're going to do a, we're not going to donate the quilt, but we're going to have a, we're going to sell the quilt and donate the proceeds of the quilt. So an auction. We're going to have an auction for the quilt, and we'll be donating the proceeds to the Minneapolis Crisis Nursery here in town. So we're making this into a quilt, and we're doing the quilt as you go method. So we've already done like A through D. So we're doing it twice. We're doing 2 a month. So week 1 of the month and week 2 of the month, we're doing a letter each month. And so we've been doing this since, I guess this is January? No, February. It's April. Jeez, it's April. So this is February and March's designs. So we're quilting it right away. So it's already on the back fabric and the batting, and we'll be attaching them together using the quilt as you go method. And we're going to go over that maybe even next week after the fox, because I think we're going to get, which is the letter F, I think we're going to get that done hopefully relatively quick too. So here's the letters we have done so far. They're totally already quilted. Ultimately, I think this is going to be kind of the layout. So we'll have 3 at the top, so I'll need to do like 4 decorative corners basically, but then the letters will work out like this. We'll trim them down to 8.5 inches, but each will have like a little colorful border in between, and we kind of have to work on that part a little bit yet, I think. But yeah, so that's the plan. So we're stitching, and then a lot of times this doesn't take the entire week, so we do the quilting of it right away. I've just been doing the free motion quilting on my home machine here. And I'll actually be visiting my parents on Friday, so Friday's live will be on location there again, which means that we'll probably just be on YouTube and, God, I almost said Periscope, holy cow, YouTube and TikTok again for Friday, and I think, we'll see how tomorrow goes, but I'm thinking we may do the free motion quilting there. Although we might get done with this awfully quick tomorrow, so maybe we'll be able to figure out the quilting tomorrow yet. Have like a little free day on Friday. Actually, we could start the quilt as you go process maybe. We'll have to figure that out. It's always a little weird when I'm on location. So maybe we'll do a free day, just, then if anyone misses it, we can start the quilt as you go next week or something. Oh, Holly, and she's the only one in your family that sews, and you're taught by her. Ugh, what a nice thing to have gotten from her. That's just lovely. My grandma did tons of crochet, and I learned crochet from her. I'm kind of weaving into the ends of these satin stitches. That was kind of dumb because they're pretty tight here. It would have been, I'm going to redo it again. I'm going to weave in the ends of these back stitches. That's way easier. And I had plenty of thread, so that worked out great. Alright, just trying to get that one there. Gosh, I can't grab those stitches. There we are. And back up. Okay, let's snip. Boop. Probably don't need to keep that little piece anymore. All right, that's it for the elephant, though. I think we haven't missed anything. No, he is done. So now it's just the letter E there, and we have plenty of time to get started with that. Okay, so I think I'm gonna grab a pencil, and you know what? Why don't we use a ruler? Let's see how that goes. So JW was here last night, and they said maybe try doing diagonal, just straight diagonal. So these other ones that we did, like for the C, for example, we kind of curved the satin stitch with the letter. You can kind of see we almost have like a center point in the middle, and it's just all the lines are kind of going around that center point. We did that for that as well, and then like we did kind of the same thing with the D. We did straight up the edge and then just kind of followed the shape around, like from that center point again. But we don't have to do that. We could do like diagonal all the way across, and that was kind of the suggestion, and I'm like, we haven't done that yet. Why not? And we're not actually going to go all the way across because, you know, we have gaps here, so we'll have to, it'll be kind of fake. So we'll do diagonals until we can't, and then we'll just keep filling the shape, and then we'll have to go back and do like more little diagonals. But the effect when we're done will be that it's like a diagonal kind of feel. So I think I'm just gonna, let's just draw a diagonal on here. Oh my gosh, I think I need to kind of go this way so I can see the edge a little bit more. So I'm just gonna draw some like guideposts there, and actually now I can use the ruler to just go on that, like I'm putting that diagonal on that line there, and then we can just kind of draw some more. I'm thinking this would have been easier to just eyeball it. But there we kind of get the sense of some diagonals. I am going to just eyeball a few more. And I think I'm just gonna eyeball a few more here. I'll put stitches on these too, and we'll use each of those as our guide, and then we'll just like fill it in. But kind of see what I mean. We're gonna just try and get all of them going the same direction, and let's see if I can mimic some of these lines. And get a few on here too. Oops, geez, I'm doing them far away from each other. Let's shimmy on down there. I feel silly doing it this way versus just eyeballing it, but it's working totally well, as it should, because I'm using a real ruler. Let's just fill in some of the gaps again. But yeah, I think this will look kind of cute. So there's our guides. We'll definitely put probably more in as we go, but that'll give me a good sense just to start. I kind of feel like I need one more here. it's easy. You know, I don't need as many guides if I'm just going just straight up this little edge. I'll just have to put a few. The reason for this is so when I do these stitches next to each other, I don't like start to veer off and then like veer this way, and then overall they end up like veering, and then they're not perfectly straight. This is just to keep them super duper straight in line the whole time. All right, and it looks like I have a little piece of this dark green left. I do have a whole lot more, but this already has 3 strands separated. So you could actually do just one strand, like how we did with the brown little dot, but that's going to take forever. So I'm going to just do the 3 strands. It won't be quite as perfect and satiny, but it'll still get the same effect and just much faster. And you know what? I'm going to also start with an away knot. This is very similar to like how we left a little piece of thread for the eye earlier and then wove it in. This is another way to just kind of reserve a little piece of thread. So I'm just going to come from the front to the back a few inches away from my starting point, and then I'm going to start, and that will be the little piece of thread that we're reserving there. So, all right, I think, why don't we'll get the 1 stitch. I'm going to go just on the outside of my outline just to cover up, make sure that outline's covered up. And then you can just kind of stretch across, but I have this line here that I can just follow. I'm going to go just on the opposite edge of, or just on the outside of that line. And you know what, I think, usually I do all of the kind of guidepost stitches at once, like all these lines, but I think I'm going to just kind of fill in as I go, just because they break, it gets broken up by this negative space here, so like I can't go all the way across. Oh, here I might be able to, but like here I can't. And I don't necessarily want to jump across this space either, like how we didn't jump across between the toenails. So I think I'm going to go, let's just fill in backwards to the corner to start out. I think that seems as good of a strategy as any. I'm always going to start on one side and end up on the other, so I'm always kind of starting on this left bottom part of the diagonal and going to end up in the top right part of the diagonal. And we're going to go basically right next to it, and I'm doing my best to keep that same exact angle. And actually already I feel like, ooh, I could have used a few more drawn in guides. But I think we got it. It's going to be pretty with just all one angle. I'm not sure I've ever done like a whole letter just with diagonal stitches like this. I think it's going to be pretty. Oh, and I like this color too. Good call on the color, Caitlin. All right, I'm a little twisty already, so I'm going to just let my thread dangle for a sec. Some stitches do twist your thread a little bit more because you're just going through the fabric the same way each time. It's not being allowed to untwist, and this satin stitch is kind of doing that. Ooh, and I think I just stretched this E a little bit. I want to try and straighten it out in the hoop again, so it's nice and square. There we are. Well, that's looking awfully cute so far. Okay, so I think I can get away with this stitch going all the way up. Yeah, because it's just going to cover that corner, but just enough. Yeah, one more down, and I'd have to split that up. So I'm doing this in a weird way, just like doing the next guidepost and then backtracking, but I think it's ultimately going to work just fine. Just really wanting to focus on those lines staying all the same angle. Oh, I think two more will probably have to go in here, this little space. Actually, I don't think I need one more. That looks pretty okay. Yeah, I don't think I need another one. Cool. So I think we will do this top little area as much as I can. And I'm just thinking I'm going to run out of thread before I can get much further past this. So yeah, let's just keep backtracking. I like this idea. Right now, this one I feel like I need to put one in the middle. So I didn't draw that line in. Drawing would be easier, but I can kind of I can kind of lay the thread there and use that as my guide. So about right there. I can always pull this out if I don't do it quite right. Yep, that looks like the same angle. I like it. And we'll fill in some more, and then I'll come back to that first one. Oh gosh, we are getting twisty with this thread. All right. Coming back to this one. Yeah, I do need another one there. Alright, still looking pretty nice. Let's get this next angle. Actually, I'm going to get the one kind of in the middle. Feeling like I'm needing these middle ones. Yep, I think that looks good. A little bit more tricky, this angled bit versus just going straight up and down. Oh, I don't think we're going to get to the end. Gosh, we're just like literally going to be a few stitches shy, I think. Oh god, maybe we can make it. Oh my gosh, I'm not sure though. Just need a few more tiny stitches. See, I'm feeling like my angle's getting a little higher here, though. Let's see if we can correct that a little bit. Alright, we're going for it. Obviously, there's only 2 tiny little stitches here. Let's get one more. Kind of get that little point in. All right, I think that looks pretty nice. Oh, thanks for joining, Tina. Have a great evening. All right, I'm going to weave this end, and we'll weave in the other end that we reserved, and I think that will be that for this evening. I'm really happy with the progress we made with this. I'm happy we were able to start this satin stitch. So I think at worst we'll get this done and at least be able to prep this for quilting. Like we'll be able to pin it together and stuff, I think. All right, I'm just trimming that away knot, and that's releasing our spare bit of thread there, and we can weave that in. It's about how far we got at the same time last time too. So in general, on these ones that there's not a lot of totally fancy stitching or filling in a lot of stitches, it sounds like we'll be prepping to quilt on the Thursdays still. Oops, shoot, I lost it, but I think that's fine. We only need to go through twice there, I guess. And then we'll be quilting on Friday for all these. And I'm thinking we'll have also time on those Fridays to actually start assembling these blocks when we're done too. But all right, I am loving that green. I never would have thought to do that green, and I just am really, really liking it. And the diagonal, just that plain diagonal stitch, I think is going to be like really kind of pretty for this too. So I'm excited to see how it looks like where it appears as if it's jumping across there and coming, continuing the diagonal down on the other side. I think that'll be interesting. So all right, you guys, that's that for the evening. All right, so thank you again so much for joining me. I appreciate it every time I see you guys here and chit-chatting. And yeah, we'll get this going again on tomorrow, Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Central. We will finish up that letter E. And yeah, we'll have another finished embroidery for this quilt. That'll be great. So thanks again, everyone. Be sure to check out penguinandfish.com, see the embroidery of the month, and any embroidery supplies you may need. And I will see you again tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Have a lovely evening. Good night.